Fans, what's up? Loyal listeners, hope everybody's doing well. We're on a winning streak. Who Dats win in New Jersey, defeat the Jets. Big W. Any W at this point is a big one. We break that one down. We look forward to the next one against Tampa. Things are on the up and up. Doesn't stop us from talking hypotheticals in 2022. But how does this Saints team beat this surging Buccaneers team? We seem to have Tampa's number. All that and more. We have a lot of fun on this one. Next on Pro Saints Talk. Buckle up.
Look at uptown people like yeah. People up and gritting like yeah. Mid-city folks like yeah. People downtown man yeah.
Where you at, Whodats? And welcome to this week's episode of Pro Saints Talk. Hey, coming off of a must-win. We said we had to have it. We got it, baby. We got the win up in New Jersey. Thanks to the Bright Bros and Baldwin and all the Rons that were in attendance. I know y'all carried us through, and we're going to carry y'all through today on this one. Hey, George, how we living, baby?
Ron, we're living lavish. I want to ask you a couple questions. First, how did that win taste?
Oh, it tasted great. You got to love the taste of victory, especially after coming off of 5 straight losses. I mean, there's no bitter about it. It's just sweet, baby.
Could you smell what we were cooking all game long?
George, if you're referring to symptoms that I may or may not be experiencing right now because I'm in an act of solidarity with my boy Ingram, with my boy Ty Montgomery, with my boy Cam Jordan, like we're all in this together right now. It's a solidarity fight that we're in, and I'm standing united. All right, yeah. Could the Saints be on a little bit of a playoff run? Could they be cooking something up right now and I can't smell it? Sure. But that doesn't mean I don't believe it, George. That doesn't mean I don't believe it. Jay, how we living coming off the 5-game skid, getting the victory?
Ron, it smells like something. It's not that delicious pork chop I just cooked. Let's get to it, babe.
All right. So, yeah, look, I think we build this one going in as if Camaro was playing, we were going to win this game. He's the most dynamic player on the field, and it was so evident right out of the gates. I mean, the guy on that touchdown run, putting the shake on him, the strength was back, everything was back. George, only critique, I gotta just jump straight to it. What the hell are we doing running this guy in the fourth quarter when we're up 3 scores? Like, this is some Panthers shit that we're pulling right now. And it's ticking me off that we're pulling Matt Rule amateur moves like this when we're trying to go on a playoff run.
We're at a fan question 30 seconds in here, Ron.
We had a half dozen fan questions on this. Not very often do you miss Boogie for his insight, but this is quintessential Boogie pulling his hair out, turning gray, cursing Sean Payton. You know, Sean Payton just can't help himself. The commentator was talking pitch count. Lo and behold, deep in the fourth quarter in garbage time against a Jets team that can't even move the ball down the field, we are putting Kamara for his 29th, 31st touch of the game, and then boom, he starts limping at the 2-minute warning and give him another carry. It's like, Sean Payton, what are you doing, man? He just can't help himself because he wants to assure himself the victory, and he wants to see it all the way through. And in doing that, he's putting Kamara at risk when he shouldn't be taking those shots. Give that ball to the fullback. Give that ball to Jones Jr. Give that ball to me, anybody but Kamara, because, Ron, like you said, like we all saw, anybody with a pair of eyes at that Jets game could tell you how valuable, how much better Alvin Kamara is with the ball in his hands compared to everyone else on the team.
Well, Jay, look, you're right. It is a fan question coming from our boy BC right here. But, yeah, 32 touches in this game. I mean, that's just excessive. I know Ingram wasn't playing, but, I mean, those were just unnecessary touches. And we've talked about this before with Peyton. Is this stat chasing? Is this him like trying to make up for lost time? Or is this like the classic just football guy, hey, players want to play, like can't worry about injuries? What is it?
No, I think it's what George said. And he wants to no lead is good enough, and they felt like they rested him properly, right? They could have had him back that Thursday night, but they were looking at that 10 days in between the Bills game and the Jets game, so they thought it made sense to rest him. So in my mind, if you look at it, it probably made sense to Peyton that he wasn't on the proverbial pitch count that the commentators were suggesting throughout the game. But even a common man like you, me, George, Brian C. can point out that if you're up 21 points, let's protect the gift horse at all accounts and run Tony Jones Jr. Give him some run, and Tony Jones looked better. We saw flashes of the preseason in that game, but certainly you need 41 down the stretch if we're going to make that playoff run that we were talking about last week, or that you and George were talking about last week.
Ron, let me throw one more thing out there. I was afraid that we're going to go full Ronnie Payton and throw Kamara as your punt returner, kick returner. Lo and behold, Jameis's little brother, little Aesop Winston, he showed you a little there. We haven't seen anything in the kick return game in a long time from our boy Harris. This guy had a little pop. I liked watching him. I feel like Harris is now focusing more on offense and wide receiver and less on special teams. And this guy, you could tell, loves the opportunity to return punts and kicks. I think we have something there.
No, definitely. Aesop Winston, I mean, I'm just checking the stats right now. Average 13.5 yards per punt return. I mean, they always say anything over 10 is like Pro Bowl caliber. Like, you're essentially getting your team a first down every time. So, yeah, I thought he had a great game, George. Really consistent. But, hey, you ain't getting out of it this easy. We got to grade out your boy Taysom. So what did you think? Because I just want to put this in context. Like, the final stat line doesn't look bad by any means. Like, hey, 15 for 21 here. But this was a one-score game for a long, long time. I know it.
Oh, my God. Are you – wait. Are you for real right now? This is your take? This is your take? You're
I'm just setting you up. I'm setting you up.
You're not actually
setting you up. Dude, maybe you can't sense this. I don't know. Maybe you can't smell or taste it coming. But I'm just telling you, like, it wasn't an offensive explosion, and you had some miscues, like with the finger, ball slipping out. So, just how did he grade out for you?
So let me ask you a question. When Teddy Bridgewater went 5-0, what do you give him?
What do you mean? What do I give him?
How do you grade him out? You know, he didn't play well, but he won. So how do you quantify?
Oh, there were some games that he played better than others?
Yeah, but
there's no doubt about that.
Do you give him a C, B, A?
Oh, I mean, George, if I'm strictly grading out the quarterback, it's not just on wins, man.
Yes, it is, Ron. That's my whole point. Ron, he led you to victory. Don't get lost in the weeds about the fumble. Yeah, okay, it wasn't perfect, but it's binary. He led the team to a win. Ron, what did we talk about? Stop the bleeding. 5-game losing streak. And you're going to cry over the spilled milk on how we did? We just beat the shit out of him. Look at the second half. And
holy crap.
You're going to cry about one play that clickbait?
Who's crying right now? Dude,
you're being too harsh on him.
All I asked you was, how did he grade out? Dude, I didn't make any
A++ because we won the bloody game and we ended the losing streak and kicked the Jets' butt.
Look, I thought he played well considering the weaponry, right? I mean, dude, when Nick Vannett is your friggin' leading receiver, which I'll just point out, George, the short passes to the tight end got the offense rolling.
It's not the tight end screen, though.
The lack of creativity.
Screen. I was watching. It wasn't the bubble screen.
Look, Taysom had some pretty good zip on it despite the fingertip joint deal. So, yeah, I thought he did well. But, Jay, I thought more importantly, he had some pretty solid runs, and that's where he's got to add value for us. And they weren't all necessarily designed runs, right? It was just like that scramble ability to just take off if you got an open lane.
No, I saw an article today, or maybe it was a tweet, that it looked like on Taysom's second, third progression, he was tucking that ball and running, and that's what we were saying.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. What you said.
I was saying last podcast, that's what you want to see him do. That's what he is. And for him not to think that he's somebody else, So that was refreshing to see him tuck it because that's where he's going to have success. And George is right. You know, our job is to come on here. And Ron, I don't blame you for the question because we're looking at this thing under a microscope of analyzing every week, looking forward every week. It's easy to look back at Bridgewater and not remember the stats as well and say that he was 5-0, therefore it's an A+. If Taysom at the end of this, if he's 4-2, if he loses to the Bills, Bucks, and wins the next 3 games, then I'd give him an A as well because, I mean, just regardless of what he is as an individual, look what he's got around him right now. We talked about Traquan Smith last week. You know, he makes the big 3rd down catch last week that he bobbles and has a little run after catch. But his number 1 target's Nick Vannett. He's got James Hurst, right tackle. We all know about Cesar Ruiz struggles. They've been well documented. But we're 6-7 right now, and we have to have amongst the poorest weaponry in the league of threats to throw to. And thank God, number 41 came back last week.
No, I mean that's all you can really say. I mean it's a grace of God, and I mean he'll be the reason if the Saints pull it off this Sunday, he'll be the reason. I mean that, and I do think that's a little bit of a recipe for success, Jay, that you were talking about is just finding that comfort zone for Taysom where it's 1 look, 2 look. Hey, take it off and run. I mean, he's gonna pick up extra first downs that a non-mobile quarterback wouldn't. Heck, I'm thinking back to Jameis's highlight of the season when he did his little Euro step, ball fake, 14 yards downfield.
Fake granny pass.
He was able to get loose on this defense, and it's a little bit surprising because they've got the fast linebackers, but maybe Peyton can scheme them where Kamara or somebody like that can flood them out of there and open up some running lanes for Taysom this week. I don't know. We'll see. It certainly opened up against the Jets defense, which. Look, I mean, Saleh, I think we all respected that dude in San Francisco. Obviously gave us some really great fights.
Elijah Riley, Ron.
Yeah, hey, dude, your boy came up and made a play early, right?
Yeah, third and 2, quarterback read to the left, comes up, makes a big tackle. Proud of that guy.
Yeah, look, and that might have been the shining moment of the day for him. But, yeah, it's just –
No, he got a picture with Malcolm Jenkins after the game.
Oh, okay. I mean, dude, look, that was a terrible team. I mean, I don't know about y'all. It just felt like even when it was close, it just felt like there was no way we were losing that game. As long as we didn't have some kind of terrible turnover, it just felt like the defense was always going to keep it under control. They had plenty of drops to help us out. It just did not ever feel like their day.
Hey, Ryan, you should give a shout out to Ty Johnson. He gets the Al Woods Award. Guys, we have to send a Christmas basket too he's playing on the other team, but he's hooking us up. Ron, let's talk about one guy. Zach Wilson, their quarterback, on our group chat immediately after the game, it was a firestorm of a conversation debate on salvageability because right now you see the Jets poisoning him and watching him get worse and worse and worse. And they have a backup that they like. He's also a young guy. Maybe there's an avenue for Sean Payton to get Wilson, pluck Wilson while his stock is so low. He looked porous last weekend and salvage him and turn him into an NFL caliber quarterback and revise his career with the Saints before it's too late, before he goes fully Darnold. Because I mean, remember that screen pass that he bounced past? I mean, he had so many throws and plays. Like his highlight, his best play of the day was also a low light because he ran 15 yards and then the tackler, I think was Williams or Jenkins, came and approached him and got blocked. And yet he slid anyway, and he got up and celebrated, and his fans booed him because he could have gotten even another 15 more yards. So he just didn't do anything right. But if he stays in New York, it's going to be that. and more and more and more and get uglier and uglier and uglier. And then they're going to cast him away before, and then he'll be Darnold. He'll just be another Mark Sanchez spit up and chewed out like New York does to so many people on and off.
And George, to that point, kind of not off topic, but if you look at the last 4 years of draft picks, right? The Saints in the first and second rounds have struggled. 2021, you picked Peyton Turner, Pete Werner. Turner's been beat up all year. Looks like Werner's going to be a contributor in the second round. You get Cesar Ruiz in 2020, Zach Bond in the third round. 2019, you get Eric McCoy, who's been wonderful. 2018, Marcus Davenport, first round. The Saints haven't hit on a first-round draft pick since Marshawn Lattimore. So why don't we take that Les Snead Los Angeles Rams approach, Ron, and trade some of those guys away? You guys are talking about guys like Easop Winston, Deontay Harris. These are free agents. We're talking about we get to the third round, Paulson Adebo. We're talking about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in the fourth. So many playmakers. Alvin Kamara in the third. Maybe not a bad idea, George, to give up some of that draft capital.
Ireland finds gems third through fifth round, time in and time out. And it's not a horrible idea to turn that first round pick into – I don't even think it'll take a first round pick to get Wilson after how his rookie year is going. But so many people on our group chat were just saying, I wouldn't trade,
No, but it all looks correctable.
That's what I'm saying. And he looks downfield, which so many young quarterbacks don't do. And you just put him in an environment where he can, well, one, no one in the NFL lets a quarterback sit behind a starter. Like, let's just say hypothetically, Wilson goes to the Raiders, sits behind Derek Carr in his rookie year, then Derek Carr leaves, and then Wilson comes in. His trajectory is so much higher than a guy who's just thrown in day one on a 3-14 New York Jets team. So much of how you progress is the coach, the team, the soil that you're planted in, the players around you. And there are guys out there at quarterback that potentially Sean Payton could groom into being his next Tony Romo, into being his next Drew Brees, that people, everyone's talking about these big names, Russell Wilson, A-Rod, Derek Carr. Maybe it doesn't take all that, but a guy like Wilson that Sean Payton could just restore.
Well, okay, I think what you're getting at there, George, is like Robert Saleh is a defensive coach. Their offensive coordinator is Matt LaFleur's brother. I mean, so who is really developing this guy? So I'll just give him that. And then second point, when your biggest weapon is a guy named Berrios, I mean, look, he doesn't have much to work with, all right? So, dude, I just think –
At least he catches the ball with his eyes open.
Hey – come on now. Hey, good return, man, too. Guy after my own heart, dude. I love, like, brother from another mother right there, or another lineage. So anyway, dude, I just think that all those things that you just pointed out is like he's not really in the right environment for a lot of reasons, and coaching is one of them. And so, yeah, sure, you put anybody under the tutelage of Sean Payton, they're going to be a better quarterback. He's a quarterback guy. He's an offensive guy. And I just don't know if they've got the right coaching staff to foster a rookie quarterback in New York. That just feels like, yeah, they need to go sign the veteran. I would love to see Payton work on a freaking like top 5 rookie quarterback like this. It would just be an interesting experiment. Not saying I wish that upon our organization, because that's high risk, high reward, and very, very rarely pays off. But it would just be interesting to me to see that. I don't know. But, George, okay, you get at a great fan question here from Tito Puente, and just putting the hypotheticals out there. That's all people want to think about right now is, all right, here are your options. And I know you saw this in writing, so just bear with me for the fans here. Baker Mayfield, 4 for $80 million. Jimmy Garoppolo, 2 for $34. Derek Carr, 4 for $100. Aaron Rodgers, 2 for $56. Or let Russ cook, 5 for $150. I mean, those are a lot of numbers, but what are you excited about for 2022?
The A-Rod final answer. I mean, that's too good to be true. If you get that, you run all the way to the Super Bowl giggling. Next year, Super Bowl is in Las Vegas. The one after that is in New Orleans. So you're looking, the Saints, when healthy, with a guy like A-Rod, are true Super Bowl contenders. A-Rod, final answer.
Are you sure? Because it sounded like y'all were really excited about Baker Mayfield a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Ron, I haven't lost much faith in Baker coming. I mean, I'd like to, maybe not for 4 years, maybe more on a prove it 3 years, pay him $22 million a year. But obviously we're looking ahead right now. You got a good guy in the building in Jameis that led you to 5-2. That's been in the system. But I think a guy like Baker Mayfield, we just talked about Peyton's tutelage, could be successful. And the thing is, there's going to be options. You're talking about a New York quarterback in bad soil, George and Zach Wilson. A guy named Daniel Jones won Player of the Week against the Saints in the Superdome when he came back by 11 points in the last 8.5 minutes. Just trying to play devil's advocate here, name some guys kind of that haven't been discussed as much. And one guy I want to point out as we're doing some NFL talk here that I've gained a lot of respect for, and kind of just how he's handled his business. And I like him more as a quarterback, but even better as a dude, as a person is Derek Carr, and what he said after John Gruden got fired, and that, I hate the sin, I love the man. After Henry Ruggs, I'm gonna love him right now if nobody else will. He really seemed genuine when he was talking, and he's a guy that I came into the season, he always seems to be a guy that's hyped up the first 6 to 8 weeks of the season and then trails off a little bit. But talk about a guy that could really do well and thrive in the right system is Carr. And he might be a guy that gets attention from those teams that have been quarterback deprived, starved for a long time. He gets a big payday from somebody like that. But it would be interesting to see a guy like Derek Carr that maybe if you lose out on Rodgers, Wilson, what can somebody like that do for you?
And Ron, don't forget the name Taysom Hill. We're on a win streak. Here we're all talking about 2022. Ron, my opening monologue was supposed to be this. It was supposed to be this, but I got distracted by Ron may or may not having COVID. I don't want to break a HIPAA violation, so he may or may not have it. But look, Ron, we're on a win streak, right? And I said an awful thing about the Saints. I said we got to go 4-1, as if that was going to be the goal. No, the goal is 5-0. Clickbait's leading us to the promised land. You heard Jansen say last week, he thinks the Jets are going to beat us. But no, guys, people hopped off the bandwagon. And I'm going to tell you right now, Ron and George and Ron, we have room for y'all. Come hop back on. We're going to the playoffs with Clickbait carrying that flag.
And Ron, I got a question for you.
Okay.
On the heels of what George just said, is 4-1 good enough to reach the playoffs, considering that we don't hold the tiebreaker against the Washington football team and a lot of the other NFC teams that are in the hunt?
No, I hadn't done all the math on it, and I was going to bring that up tonight to see what y'all knew about that. Because, while it was great to see, we didn't get what we needed this week around us. We took care of business, but the Vikings won. The 49ers won. Heck, the Falcons are keeping up with us. So yeah, it's not happening all around us like we need it to. Yeah, the football team did lose to the Cowboys this week, so that was a plus. But yeah, you're right, Jay. That's what hurts me the most is like we could take care of business on our end. I don't know that we control our own destiny. I doubt we do. So, George, look,
Must-win game.
Must-win game. So, George, wait, I know we're in it right now. We're in 2021. but it's soon to be 2022, and fans want to know, man. We got Christopher Ronson right here asking, and based on that last discussion, I think I'll tweak this question a little bit about, asking the age-old question. Are we going to re-sign Jameis? So I'll flip it to you and say, Jameis or Derek Carr 2022? Who would you take?
Jameis. We won with him. Jameis took the bull by the horns and won. He won us over off the field and on the field. Let's see how he progressed with that knee injury. It's not 1982 anymore. Those injuries aren't the backbreaker they used to be. Jameis. I'm all in on Jameis. I'm all in on Jameis, and I'm all in on this year. I know there's all these questions about next year. Forget it. We know who we are. We know we may or may not need a quarterback. I get that. But, 4-1, which is now 3-1, will get you in the playoffs. I just sent y'all the link. Y'all go dive into that. Those teams that are 6 and 7 all play each other. So they're all going to take care of themselves. And then from there, Saints go 3-1. We're drinking lemonade in the shade. We're fine. We're getting that 7 seed. We might even get a 6 seed. Now you guys just need to see the light.
All right, dude. Hey, I can see it. But like I said, this thing could get dicey towards the end. And look, your boy Bruce is wanting to know that as well. Jay, chances that the playoff spot comes down to the winner of Saints Falcons week 17. How spicy would that be?
Remember the old days when it's like, we need this to happen, we need this to happen, and you don't have the scores up, and you're like looking to the suites that are watching the other games. If Cincinnati ties New York and this happens, the Saints advance to the playoffs. It kind of feels like that. I don't really see – I think Atlanta's going to take 1 or 2 more L's. I'm not looking at their remaining schedule. George, you have a great ability to multitask and text us on the side and pull up NFC playoff pictures on the side, but it's harder for me to do that. But I just don't see the Falcons, God bless Arthur Smith, if he leads them to 10-7, 9-8. It could come down to the Saints winning that final game in Atlanta, where I could see a surge in Houdat fans heading up to Atlanta to get that victory, a la day after the SEC championship game, Ron, when we were in Atlanta watching that Saints Falcons game. I think it was a rookie, Deuce McAllister, that ran for a touchdown
and threw for a touchdown.
Yeah, you're right. But Carolina certainly seems on a downward trajectory with Cam. That sizzled out pretty quickly. So no, I mean, I think we'll wish and hope next week, and then Miami got a winnable game. I think Carolina is extremely winnable, and then a coin toss in Atlanta.
Yeah, no, I hear you, Jay. Dude, that brought back memories of 2003 at Eddie's house, at the weatherman's house, and we were waiting for the Rams to lose. St. Louis Rams kick a freaking game-winning field goal or something.
I remember that. On the
knocks
projector,
us out of the playoffs.
on the projector.
Oh, man.
NFL prime time. Dude, after the Drew Brees era, it was always going to be back to that. You go from a team that's always like seeded 1 through 4 on the right side in the hunt. Like the Saints before and after with Drew Brees. With Drew Brees, obviously, 1 through 4. After, back to in the hunt. It's just like how we were before Drew Brees came. We're back in those dark ages. Just as a way to adorn the golden years that was, but it's going to take a long, hard road to get back to being.
And George, I would call it the dusk ages. I think we'd all take 9-8 going into the season.
Oh yeah, of course. I would take just being in the hunt going into the season. No, I didn't know what to make of this season, especially with all the injuries. 9-8 is fantastic.
Okay, yeah, that's the caveat I would put out on it, because I think if we're all being honest with ourselves at the start, we admitted, hey, this is still a really talented roster. We just didn't know at that time. Oh wait, ain't gonna be no Mike Thomas ever. Ain't like we're gonna lose Kamara for some games. Like the offensive line is gonna get completely depleted. Yeah. So I mean, before all that, yeah, we were saying, yeah, this could be a 10-win team easy. This team's got loaded talent. Oh, by the way, we didn't account for losing our starting quarterback. So, yeah, no,
Wait, Ron,
but that does beg.
Who knocked
okay,
out?
go.
Who knocked out our starting quarterback?
Oh, it was Devin White.
Who do we play this Sunday, 7:20 at night?
We're playing Devin White.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Not all these trips down memory lane, because we got a big game tonight to get us on that road to the promised land this year. We're all in these little fairy tales talking about 2022 quarterbacks or woulda, coulda, shouldas. We're still in the thick of it, and I don't understand this whole ideology of thinking that this season's over. Like,
because we've been in the light for so long, George. That's where we're
playing the Buccaneers Sunday night. We have a great regular record versus the Buccaneers with Tom Brady and before Tom Brady. This is the team that gets us the most riled up. It's got Mike Evans' history. You got history with Jameis, who's no longer with us. You got history with Lattimore. You got history with Leonard Fournette charging the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson after the game last time we played him on Halloween. Like, this is a big bloody game. They're favored by 10.5 points. This is a team that we
10.5.
This is a team that we
they're favored by 11.
Dude, I don't mean to cut Godfather off. We should put money on that. The fact that the Buccaneers are favored by 11 versus a team that bullies them, that stays tight with them, a divisional opponent.
George, tell me this. So Vegas is seeing the same things that we've talked about, right? Our strength right now is Taysom running the ball, Alvin running the ball with a depleted lineup of receivers, and the front seven being the strength of Tampa. What's your game plan to hang in there with an offense like Tampa that's averaging 30 points per game?
And I have to just add on to that question because Matt Rogers getting at the same thing because they're going to want to take away Kamara. So what is the game plan after that, George?
Taysom Hill. Okay, so on defense, Lattimore rises to the occasion versus Mike Evans, time in and time out. Like Elijah Moore, the guy who we should have gone up against last week, would have been a guy that burns him. He's going to step up against Mike Evans. Last time we played the Buccaneers, our defense handled the Buccaneers offense fantastic. Caused turnovers, big splash plays, all the fun things to get under to get under Tom Brady's skin. Do that again. Tom Brady was yelling at the refs half the game in the Superdome on Halloween. This Saints team knows how to get under Tom Brady's skin. They know how to hit him. They know how they play up. They play up. They play down. They play up. They play down. This is the team that gets the most out of the Saints. You get Ramrod back. You get Armstead back. You have Alvin Kamara. You have the tight end bubble screen that works every time, Ron. You know, I don't coach offense. I'm not an offensive coordinator. I'm not going to tell you how the Saints are going to figure it out.
George, but you said the Saints matched up to them and played them tough on that Halloween game. Bucs still scored 27 points. So you're going to have to score, say, 28 points.
And mind you, they barely held off another legendary Brady comeback. I mean, yeah, we all mocked that play calling on that last possession that we had, and we said, oh, here we go. We've seen this script before. Here you go. Tom Brady's got the ball with 1.5 minutes left to go because Peyton refused to run the ball, and luckily the defense made a play.
But I'm
happy to join y'all on Pro Bucks talk.
No, I'm with you in the fact that the Saints give Brady more problems with the Bucs than any other team has in the last more than year and a half. And if you even go back to the playoff game, I mean, the Saints had that game in their hands until Jared Cook fumbled it out of their hands, and Brady prevailed and he won. But I mean, look, the last time we played in Tampa, it was with Drew Brees. I think we beat him by 20 plus points. Beat him in the game opener, beat him this year. There's no question that the Saints have their number. I'm just trying to have conversation about what's the context of what's going to happen in order for us to match up with this team, more specifically offense versus defense.
Yeah, so I mean, in my opinion,
Gotta be Taysom. Taysom gotta give you some magic. He's
yeah,
got to eliminate any of those turnovers that we saw in the second half versus the Cowboys and that little awkwardness we saw in the first half versus the Jets. We all saw it. Jay, you saw it too. But what we really need to focus on or expect out of Taysom is to take that next step, take this bull by the horns and lead this offense. He's been waiting this opportunity for so long. Last year he did 3-1. Good. It's good enough. Now we need the same production, the same results this year, and it's all on Taysom. He doesn't have to be Superman, but he has to make the plays to get the ball downfield. Not
Juwan Johnson.
And then take off. That first guy, that second guy, not there, take off. He's so much better running when it's a design run, he's a good running back. He's like Tony Jones Jr. But wait, when it is a passing play and the whole defense
impromptu
is guarding the defense and he might have that White or David spy on him, that's okay. That's when he can still take off, make the first guy miss, 8 yards, comes at you in 2 seconds.
And Josh Allen had more than 100 yards rushing and over 300 yards passing last week against Tampa.
There are vulnerabilities on this team. I know Vita Vea is a black hole right there. They have great linebackers that perennially shut down Alvin Kamara. I get that. But they're not perfect. Their secondary is Swiss cheese. Sean Payton, come on. They have this god-awful movie about him coming out. Maybe that'll motivate him to get his juices flowing again. We're going to need it all, and it's going to happen.
Did he approve that?
Yeah, that's his daughter's boyfriend.
Wait. We'll get into the movie. We'll get into the movie later. I wanted to put my 2 cents on this because
okay, go ahead.
I know I wanted to put my 2 cents on this game plan. I do agree with you, George. I think there needs to be some not so designed runs. Like, I think Kamara's got to occupy those linebackers. You got to get them out into the flats, doing those little choose routes, those little choice routes over the middle, seeing if you can free those guys up because that prevents them from being able to spy Taysom. And then I think if you move the pocket really well, then you provide Taysom those opportunities where, all right, yeah, you're rolling out right. Hey, if you got something short, if you got your boy Juwan Johnson, who, mind you, is on the all-hands team this year, which I know ain't saying much for the 2021 Saints, but that dude's our best receiver. I mean, that's just what I think. Hands down, hands up, best receiver. And so, yeah, maybe you catch something like that short in the flat. Or you just tuck it and run. So I just think that's like the formula to just rip off some chunk yardage against this team and get those easy first downs. I think this team obviously has struggled with just moving the chains, but those are going to be what I look at. I look at Sean Payton's going to have to scheme his matchups on this team because, yeah, we don't have the weapons on the outside. So I'll be interested to see if the Bucs do man or zone on the receivers. I don't know I'm not a defensive coordinator. I don't know what the advantage is there. If you got man, obviously that opens up some running lanes for Taysom because, like you said, George, everybody's got their backs turned to him, and that's when you get those really wide open runs. So I could see them doing a zone, but we'll have to see. I just that's what I'm picturing in my head for some of these scenarios.
Davenport just crush Brady a couple times? That'd be great.
Well, if it's Davenport, there's going to be at least one helmet-to-helmet personal foul. And Tom Brady, I mean, that's like worlds colliding in terms of flags. So, but okay, that's a good conversation to just flip it over with the defense because I'll tell you, just my amateur eyes of just watching the Bucs because it feels like they're always on either the national CBS spot or they're on prime time. They're on prime time this week. How do you stop? I'm so tired of seeing all these yak yardage that I feel like Brady's setting all these NFL records. He's passed up Breeze on just about everything now, and it feels like everything's been on freaking yak. All he does is throw these little smoke screens or these little quick slants, and his guys just rumble downfield for 15 to 20 yards. Jay, I just think tackling is going to be so critical, like tackling by the corners, tackling by the linebackers, getting out in space. that's how you just can't give up these like chunk yak plays.
Yeah, and I don't think you can take that away from Brady because he's so smart and a lot like Breeze. He does a lot of damage right pre-snap when he's going, and even after the snap when he's going through progressions like that throw that he had, the drag route to Brashad Perriman. He said, I figured he would be covered by the linebacker there. That was the first time they threw to that guy all day, right? He gets a separation. He runs for a touchdown. He's so quick through his progressions. It's almost like he always has Gronk in the seam. But a big key to their success this year, and especially in the last 4 to 5 games, has been Leonard Fournette. And he ran for 4 touchdowns against Indianapolis. I mean, he's a guy now that's – look, we all track him closely in Southern Louisiana, being that he's a St. Aug grad that went to LSU. He's living up to that first-round top 5 pick that he was. And it's going to be big this week. George, we had a conversation a couple weeks ago about Cam Jordan and how much tread does he have left on the tires. He may not be able to get after the quarterback like he used to, but he still stops the run very effectively. And it's going to be big. Hopefully, I haven't heard yet confirmation if he's coming back, but we need number 94 back to at least take away Fournette and just give them less options as far as running the ball, play action, because they've got a lot of people that can beat you on that offense.
Yeah, no, they do. They do. And that's why the 11 number seems huge, but it's like it's Brady in this offense, and it could get away from you real quick. And I think we know that our offense ain't a come from behind offense, all right? Especially with Taysom at the hill.
Fast start, Ron, more important than ever. Fast start, long drives, bleed that clock, get into the fourth.
And you haven't said it yet. Create turnovers. I mean, right? That's how we've beaten this Bucs team is we've created turnovers. We didn't have any in the Jets game, but it was just a hey, we're better than you kind of win. So that's how we've beaten the Bucs. And so yeah, it'd be interesting to see can they get to Brady again and force some of these picks. Maybe get a fumble, like you said, a sack fumble, man, that'd be huge. So yeah, those are gonna be the plays that I'm looking forward to.
Ron,
George,
I got some bad news on this Pro Bucks Talk episode. Ramrod did not practice. Ron Armstead did not practice. Over and out.
What's wrong with Ramrod?
Knee.
I think he's still dealing with a knee injury.
Damn.
Dude, that's tough. I mean, I'm here trying to pump up the Saints, pump up you two melancholy hoes to get riled up for the damn game. But, I mean, that's kind of deflating to think.
Hey, we're just diving into the details, bro. Armstead will be back.
The details.
Armstead will be healthy and back tomorrow.
Okay, there's a little positivity from Jay. There's a little excitement from Jay. Great to hear. But Ramrod, we need Ramrod back too. So Ron, I have all these prayer candles for your recovery, as you may or may not be recovering from COVID. I'm gonna start. So I got one for Jameis, since he got these 4 prayer candles. I got one for my boy Chase Lyman. I've had that since 8th grade. I got one for James, and then I'm gonna have to transition some of these over.
Where is Chase Lyman now?
I think he's like a firefighter. And then we got 2 more. And they're gonna have to go to Ramrod and Armstead. And so you're no longer in the Pope's healing hands.
I'll try to survive, dude. I mean, I feel
you're on your own.
Yeah.
For all those wondering, Chase Lyman is working in commercial real estate. One of us. Palo Alto. He's probably making that coin.
Oh, wow. Yeah, dude. Know your market. Come on, Jay. Get your game up. All right. Get on that Jack Quinn commercial real estate game, dude. So, okay.
Take it easy, Ron. Take it easy.
Wow. Jeez. Didn't know that was a nuclear. Oh, great.
Nuclear engineer, sweet.
So let's get back to the details. All right. And how about some atmospheric details? Could there maybe be some weather at play this weekend? I don't know. Let's flip it over to the weatherman.
From Arkansas.
This Sunday night at 7:20, the 6-7 New Orleans Saints travel to Tampa to take on the 10-3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are a 10.5-point favorite. To make things exciting, expect scattered thunderstorms with a high of 80 and a low of 71. Honored to report for the vacationing duck hunting and goose hunting, Big Red.
Hey, Weatherman Red, that's why you're the man, dude. That's why we need you. These are those moments, prime time, Sunday night. So, all right, dude, appreciate that. George, look, we've got a couple straggler questions that we got to fit in here. And, there's just no good way to do it. But I got to still show love to my boy J-Train up in Manhattan. So he wants to know, why not give Ian Book a shot? I don't know if he's just got that Coach Kelly early signing day magic going on tonight or what. But he's on one for Ian Book tonight.
If we lose 2 games,
Next question.
4-game stretch, we can put in Ian Book. You know who else? Go sign. Remember Emmanuel Butler from 2 years ago? Go find all the guys that we've been
Ojo.
about how they look or how they could progress or how they could, prosper. Begin to turn from, a guy like Jackson Hayes to an actual contributor, right? So all those guys that you're curious about, after the second loss, Ian Book can lead the charge of all those type of guys. But until then, Book's going to stay in the library.
Oh, all right.
Man.
Okay, hey, and
That's called a pun. That's called a pun.
Oh,
That's wonderful for real.
That's what that was? Okay. All right, wait, George, I got one more for you here.
George, or Ron, you sound really good for having COVID.
Wait, say that again?
You sound really good for having the cocoa.
I mean, dude, you can't bring me down, dude. Got that O negative blood type. All right, hey, so Pat Bowman, what's our record right now if Drew Brees had stayed one more year? And let's obviously assume that all the injuries around him happened, but let's assume we got Brees for all the games this year.
Pro Saints talk, more like pro quarterback hypothetical talk, huh, George?
13-0, Drew Brees. Drew Brees would have gotten hurt for 4 games, come back, try to play through it not work out well. Then you'd have 2 or 3 games of Jameis figuring everything out, then getting into a rhythm, and then looking pretty good.
6-7.
They would be 6-7.
I refuse to believe that. I mean, if Breeze is healthy, obviously, I don't think he got. Who knows?
Okay, Ron.
Come on.
If he's healthy, he got too banged up at the end.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know.
At the end of every season, it was like I was playing with 19 cracked ribs.
That's what I'm saying. I don't
Fingers,
even know if he had
more hair
surgery to
was like his
repair.
rookie year, bro. We'd be on
I don't even know if he had surgery to repair his shoulder and everything. So yeah, who knows, man? He probably wasn't even ready to go anyway. But people love to dream. This is what the fans want. They love to dream. And yes, sometimes, Jay, it is pro hypothetical talk.
Who's Pat Bowman?
Who's Pat Bowman? Dude.
Oh, Pat Bowman.
Jenny.
Okay. Shout out, Jenny.
Oh, man. All right. So wait. I think I got – oh, y'all wanted to talk about the movie. So wait. Eddie's Ready 88. I don't know who this guy is, but he seems to be a loyal listener. He's on the IG Live sometimes. But he's asking, just saw the trailer for Home Team. What are y'all's thoughts? So, Jay, I'll give you first crack at this one.
Sorry for the delay, Ron. I was Googling Disney original movies that look better than this one. Xenon Girl, the 21st Century, Flash, Hillary Duff. I mean, I don't understand the angle for Peyton here. I guess Netflix, that's their thing. They just throw shit at the wall. You got obese Kevin James playing deadbeat dad, Sean Payton. It doesn't look too high quality, Ron. One of those that could be good because it's so bad. Looks like he reinvents his relationship with young Connor Payton and his high school team that was made out to be the Bad News Bears, poor team. NFL coach comes in. The Megan Payton's boyfriend directed the movie. I don't know. I don't know if this is the best look, Georgie, for our boy Sean P.
Ron, next
wait.
UTO. Wait, hold on, Ron. I got something for you. Next UTO, we're gonna bring a projector because the next game is Sunday night. So that means the sun goes down at 5:00. We can bring a little popcorn. We can all sit around a projector, and we can all watch the movie together. How about that?
The next game's Monday night, and sure.
And how did this dude end up with Megan Payton?
Dude, that's what I want to know. Clearly, the guy's got money. He's like connected to the whole Happy Madison family, and money talks, dude. And so, yeah, Megan.
Clearly, everybody has a type. Sean's type is Mormon quarterbacks, and Megan's is like these producer nobody right.
Happy Madison fringe guys. Yeah, but Jay, you're right, dude. I mean, this is your daughter's boyfriend is casting you like 100 pounds heavier than what you are, and he's portraying you as some deadbeat dad that just got suspended and like now has to like reconnect with his kids. And yeah, it's like, oh, is this gonna be like some ridiculous bad? It's like Grown Ups too, but worse.
Imagine if you're Sean Payton, you won the Super Bowl, you're some badass CrossFit, the whole town loves you. Every restaurant you go to, they open their doors, you don't pay a thing, everybody loves you, you're the man. The media comes, asks you a question, you can be short with them, you don't give a what about them. You can do whatever the hell you want. You think you're the man, CrossFit. I have COVID, still riding my bike around town. I don't care. I'm Sean Payton. I'm the man. I'm a genius. Oh, Dad, he's going to do a movie about you. Oh, that's great. I need a movie about me. And then, boom, he's going to be Kevin James. Imagine how deflated his ego must have gotten when he found out it was Kevin James portraying him.
I mean, look, y'all keep asking like the why. It's clearly about the money. So clearly, Happy Madison is making that money off of Netflix, and Peyton's clearly getting a cut of this. And yeah, he must just not care at this point about his reputation, his perception. He's like, he must think that what he does on the NFL sidelines in reality is going to far outweigh this thing. I don't know, but maybe we need to see the movie. Maybe we just need to see the movie and see just how great of a dad he is. And
I'm sure the trailer really doesn't speak for it. It's actually Oscar worthy.
What about we got a Godfather report?
Oh, yeah. You're right. We do have a Godfather report, so let's get to that right now. Let's learn about the odds. Let's learn about how we can make some money. I keep waiting for the freaking app to go live. One of these days, maybe this NFL season is going to go live, but we got the Godfather live for you right now.
Ronnie, what do you hear? What do you say? Back again. What is this? Week 15. All right, let's go right into it. Sunday night football at the Big Sombrero. Tell you what, for whatever reason, the Saints team just matches up real well with Tompa Bay. Even at playoff game, Drew Swansong, they, Tampa didn't really move the ball. Jared Cook looking like he was, delivering a baby. Balls were falling out of his hands. Drew threw some back-breaking interceptions. But, I mean, they had, 2 touchdown drives that went a total of 10 yards. Saints defense is going to be ready to play. Cam gets back from the Coco. But, again, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with this virus, this cough. That's going around. That's causing players to miss games. I'm not sure about taking the Saints. What I really like is the total here. I like 46.5. Sean Payton's going to take the air out of the football. Kamara, the Saints were able to run the ball with Simeon. I think the Saints will be able to run the ball again. Kamara looked good last week. I think he does a nice tune-up. He'll be ready to go. Hopefully we'll have Armstead and Ramczyk this week. I know Ramczyk hasn't practiced, but hopefully at least we get Armstead in there. Saints defense, I think it just matches up real well. They were able to generate pressure with the front four. Gives Tom all kinds of problems. Lattimore, he loves to play Mike Evans. The lights are on. Again, I like the total more than the Saints, but you could go with either or. It's just tough with Taysom. I don't know. All of a sudden, he starts throwing the ball like he's Brett Favre, and you get a pick six here, a fumble, trying to get an extra yard there. But I do like the total. I do like under 46.5. Saturday night football. Saturday night's back since the college is gone. I know people are probably going to say I'm crazy, but I really like the Colts this weekend at home at RCA Dome. They're laying 2.5 against the Patriots. While the Patriots have covered 7 in a row, they're 7-0. I mean, they haven't really beaten anybody. Jonathan Taylor is the new Adrian Peterson. He gets whatever he wants. I really like the Colts. They got a strong defense too. They kind of remind me, to be honest, of the Saints with Jameis. Kind of like a poor man's Saints. The coach isn't as good. Reich's not as good as Peyton, but they can run the ball. They got an underrated defense. I'm still not really a believer in Mac Jones. I know Belichick. Look, they're coming off a bye, but so are the Colts. Taylor's gonna have fresh legs. I like the Colts to win by a field goal Saturday night in the RCA Dome. Okay. Joe Burrow, Cincinnati. Let's go, baby. What an entertaining Sunday game. Red Zone was popping last weekend with the Bills and the Bucks and the 49ers and the Bengals. Joe, with 4 fingers on his right hand, managed to make some show-stopping plays. I really like Cincinnati to bounce back this week. They've got a shot to win that division, especially with Lamar's bum ankle. Good spot against Denver. Yes, it is Teddy covers, but he's a favorite, not a dog. Give me Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase throwing the ball a mile high. I think you got Joe's back against the wall. That's when he's at his best. I like the Bengals to cover the 2.5 that they're getting and win outright. Let's go to those Buffalo Bills. So Buffalo and Carolina. You want to talk about a boring game? That's going to be in Buffalo. The Bills just want to get a win. They just want to get a win. They got the Patriots next week in a big game. This is a must-win game for them. Josh Allen's got a bum leg. Bills got a great defense too. Don't get me wrong. They got a great defense. I mean, the Bucks needed, about 25 holding and pass interference calls to put up the numbers that they did last week. And Carolina's defense isn't too bad either. I think the Bills just, like I said, they just want to go out there, do what they need to do. They'll get a win, and Carolina's not going to score. They just can't. Cam, no. No McCaffrey. DJ Moore's got a bum hamstring. I mean, Carolina may not cross the 50. Finally, the last pick. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Urban Meyer is toast. I think you see Jacksonville at home against the Texans. They're going to be bouncing around. New life. I mean, it is clear as day that those leaks came from everybody inside the building the last couple of weeks about Meyer kicking his dog and all kinds of crazy shit. They're going to come out like the weight of the world is taken off their shoulders. They're going to be bouncing around, flying around. They're laying 3.5. Now, Jacksonville shouldn't be laying any points against any team. But this Houston team, I mean, they're the exact opposite. I think they're going to have no energy. They've just been a doormat this year. Give me Jacksonville with the new feeling, the fresh feeling of finally having this asshole Urban Meyer gone and out of the building. You know, every time you get a interim coach, they come in, they do all kinds of crazy shit, backwards passes, fake punts. I expect to see that. I expect to see a nice game from Trevor Lawrence. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars minus 3.5 against the hapless Texans. Okay, that's it for Week 15. Back to the Lords of the Ron Nation, Ron, Jay, and George.
And Ron, that's another great report from the Godfather. Like he said, take the Hoodats. Don't give us 11 points versus a team we demolished, the team we toy with, the team we play before we eat. Come on now. You know you can back the Saints on this one. Put your money where your mouth is, George. Let's do it. Let's go
George,
to Harris.
Speaking of the Godfather, I'm sorry, all you betting fans that I led astray last week. I picked Army 17-14. It was actually the other academy, Navy, that pulled it out 17-13. So I hope you still got your under.
Jay, that was a hell of a game, though. I mean, did you see the part about the linebacker for Navy didn't even know that direct snap was coming on the fake punt?
Yeah, I'm going to forgo talking about him and his antics and his tweets. I mean, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, just can't let it die, huh, Jay? I love it. Still got the fire. So
talking about how his brotherhood's built on love, theirs is built on hate, yada yada. Dude, you're going to be lining up next to these guys in 6 months. Go check out his Twitter. It's interesting.
I can always count on you to be in touch with the tweets of that game. So, all right, look, let's get to these game predictions. We just talked about the spread. What was that over under? Let me look that up while I'm kicking it to you, George, for this week's game prediction. I know you've already foreshadowed it a little bit, but walk us through what's going to happen, because ESPN's got us with a 24.2% chance of victory, and the over-under is 46.5.
FAITH, Ron. You and me. Well, everyone's jumping off the Saints bandwagon. We're still riding that
you and
all
me.
the way out west.
I told you I was doing something.
Yeah, you're jumping off the bandwagon. Here we go, Ron. We're going all the way. I'm not giving up hope until the fat lady sings. Come on. Why did I say 4-1? Clickbait. I should have never doubted you, because you know you're my dog. We're going 5-0. We're finishing strong. We're going to do what it takes to get to the promised land. And Clickbait is going to lead us there. Look what we've done. Look what we did last year to the Buccaneers. Sunday Night Football. Similar situation. Jesuit took down Newman in tennis earlier that day, and then boom, the Saints demolished the Buccaneers. And here are all these people calling me crazy for thinking the Saints are going to do it again. Hey, guess what? It's still Marshawn Lattimore on Mike Evans. It's still Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on Booger Nation. Have all these reasons, have all these doubts if you want, but don't bring them to the game Sunday night, because we're going to win one more time. I don't know what the score is. I'm just telling you, 1 will cover, 2 will win. Hoodats, Hoodats, Hoodats.
All right, 1 will cover. Wait, okay, all right. So, Jay, what you got for this one?
There's nobody you trust like your Maher. Brett Maher delivers late. Saints win 31-28. Up 28-21. Tom Brady ties it up. Taysom goes down the field. Saints win on a 47-yard field goal. Do the cannons, Raymond James. Saints march on 7-7, go into the Miami Monday night game with a new buzz in the atmosphere in the dome. Ron, can't wait to attend with you.
Foreshadowing, I love it. Hey, dude, so look, we said 4-1 when we were looking at the rest of the schedule.
Every time I talk about a kicker, it hasn't worked so well.
I was even going to bring it up in my prediction that, dude, Maher's making kicks. So I think that's a positive. You're getting primetime clickbait this weekend. So we all know what that means. It's going to be a special show that you get from Taysom on primetime. But like I said, we said 4-1 looking at these last 5. Look, we're no experts. You always seem to win one that you're not supposed to and maybe lose one that you're not supposed to. So I could see this one being the win one that maybe we didn't think. Maybe when we all said 4-1 across these last 5, we just assumed, hey, probably not going to beat the Bucs, high-powered offense. So, Tom Brady playing them at home. But no, this will be the win. And I'm going to tell you, I think it's going to be the under. I think the defense shows out. And give me like a 23-20 victory. Maher, like you said, Jay, I think Maher's making the kicks that we need. Taysom's going to get those semi-designed runs that we talked about. And Kamara's back. Kamara is back. So
can Blaine Gabbert do enough?
Like you said, Jay.
Oh, come on.
Like you said,
hey, dude,
go
he
play.
Just went.
Go listen to everything I say. I'm always right, even when I'm wrong. Guys. So look,
always
big
right.
shout out. 92 Hoodats took over Manhattan, took the shuttle to the Meadowlands.
George, do we have a bright report?
I'm trying to get to that, and you interject. So we got 92.
Wait, we have a bright report? Oh.
Guys, y'all are tough to work with here. So maybe you'll both go on mute and I'll intro the bright report.
We're in your world. Here we go.
So 92 Hoodats shuttled to Manhattan to stop the bleeding, to end this losing streak and get the Saints back on the path to the playoffs. And here are the sights and sounds outside Jet Stadium, and even one inside the Jet Stadium because it was so quiet in that stadium. Here it is.
Right. No, it's a video. We got sunshine, 45 degrees, beers, sandwiches, hoagies, and 90 Saints fans.
It's amazing. MetLife and the Jets are the sorriest franchise that I have seen in a long time. The Saints are about to win 23-13. 23-13. Kamara's going to rush for 100 yards. And the Saints are going to play today? Yes.
All right, who's QBing today?
It's the Mormon Bowl. We got Zach Wilson and Taysom Hill.
Oh, man, there's some prayers up, baby.
Pray up, baby. Pray
Everybody's
up.
wearing special underwear tonight.
I've got 2 pairs of boxers on. It's cold.
All right, what else do we have? What about the vibe? How's the energy?
The vibe is good.
Kind of trashy, kind of sad.
So we had 90 Saints fans travel up to New York, and only about 50 of them are here because New York City got the best of a handful of them last night. We were out pretty late.
Tell me about Korean karaoke.
We went to Korean karaoke.
Did either of you have your shirts on?
Shirt was off. Both of them. Food poisoning was possible. Potentially possible.
All right. Is that all we got for the report? How do I turn it around? All right. Ron Report 2.0 in the stadium.
It's 3-0 Saints.
Weather's perfect.
3:15.
Can't catch a ball.
There's more down the field. They're still the most sorry franchise in the NFL.
More Saints fans than Jets fans for sure.
It's first and
Sad ending.
All right, George, Jay, any last thoughts before we go into Bucks Week Part 2?
Yeah, we got a watch party, walk-ons, Metairie off vets. George could potentially be there. Ron, if he gets 2 negative COVID tests, will be there. Icy, frosty, draft beers. Let's do it. 7:20 kickoff.
I want to smell and taste the hops. Let's go. All right, Pro Saints Talk. We out here.
We're gonna do a song that you never heard before.
She trembling like a fiend, trembling like a fiend. I say she trembling like a fiend, trembling like a fiend. She trembling like a fiend, trembling like a fiend. She trembling like a fiend for a $10 hit. Look what she working with, look what she working with. Look at what she working with, look what she working with. Look at what she working with, look what she working with. Look at what she working with, look what she working with. They want a pimp to give them some money, but I don't do that. Like baby, I'm a Saints fan, that's why I say who that. They want a pimp to give them some money, but I don't do that. Like baby, I'm a Saints fan, that's why I say who that.